Welcome Pisces, welcome to your bi-weekly astrology. So you are my last group for the 2 weekly readings, the astrology readings. So they're my last ones. There's been quite a few to get through this week, and yeah, we've had a lot of really nice readings come out of the week. So as I always say, if you know your chart and your Pisces is your moon or your sun or your rising, then you know some parts of this will resonate and some parts not. But if not, check out the other signs that you know that are in your chart. You might just get a clearer picture, I guess. Okay, so I'm going to actually start by using my Modern Day Witch deck, and yeah, we're going to just pull some cards and kind of go with the flow. Okay. Right, so the underlying theme of the card is card of Gemini, the Lover's card, Pisces. So this could mean literally love for you, or this could mean you've had some difficult decisions to make or some difficult choices going on, or you will have. And it feels like you want to charge on in to these decisions. You want to charge on in to make something right. And that might not be your best outcome. That might not be for the best for you. So this Knight of Swords, now I always look at knights, mostly, the most part, is they're quite honourable, and you know, they have a cause and they fight for what they believe in. And this is air signs, this is Aquarius, Gemini, Libra that we're talking about. And this sword can mean literally you storming on in with this idea, or something that's going on in your life that you kind of want to set someone straight, or you want to put something right, or you're trying to make the changes in order to bring around this sort of harmony of these lovers holding hand, Adam and Eve in this card. And it's number 6. And sixes are quite literally about groundwork. I always think of them as laying down the right groundwork. And because next you have this Knight of Swords, this is the reason I said don't rush into any decisions, because you have this 5 of Pentacles in the upright. And this is a card of challenge with these 5s. 5s are sometimes, you know, this feeling that something might feel difficult or might feel hard. I mean, that might just be a perception. That might just be your mindset. Or maybe there's been a scenario, because this Knight of Swords is kind of going in the opposite direction to these people in this card. And with this Pentacles, this other card is about Earth. This is very Earth sign based. This is Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. And they feel like they're walking off thinking that something's maybe already been decided, or they've got no control over, or they feel is outside of their control. And then this Knight is sort of spinning off in the complete opposite direction. So might also be a clear message to you to just turn your back on any feelings of lack. If you know this is something you are maybe manifesting, or you're bringing in these negative vibes, then it is time to get on your horse and go in the opposite direction and make these choices like I spoke about in the Lover's card, and change direction. Next to this we have the 8 of Swords. This is this feeling of not being able to get out of a mindset, or not being able to change your mind, or maybe there's someone around you feel that you can't change their mind. And it feels a bit stagnant. Now, I don't always see that in this card, but I'm seeing stagnancy here. You see this water sort of drying up, it's a bit old, it's a bit tired. I feel like this might be an attitude. Perhaps an old way of thinking is now a bit tired, and it's time to move forward and rethink how we do things. Before I go to the other cards, I'm going to pull an Island Wellness card from this deck for these 3 cards, just to clarify. So the Hand of Cards. So this, when I said about this decision, it feels like you're being, perhaps you felt that you've been handed a certain card, or perhaps you've been taking some risks. I said that you needed to go in a new direction, you needed to go completely the opposite to these 5 of Pentacles, because they're quite draining. And this is about being strategic. I did say that there were like options, and maybe think about the outcome before you go head on in. Not showing your hand and making a gamble. So yeah, I feel like this is racing into this direction of something different, turning your back on the old school, the old way of dealing with things. Perhaps you've realised that that just hasn't worked for you in the past. We have the Dragonfly over this 5 of Pentacles. So it's asking you to be light-hearted. Adapt yourself to this change. Okay, so that gives us a little bit more clarity. So we talked about this idea of lack and being out in the cold and going in, this being maybe in the past. It feels like they're going backwards. And the cards are really saying to you, you've done so much work. Don't go backwards. Don't do a 180 on something. It's asking you to adapt and find a new way. These dragonflies, they hold light. And they build an energy for that light within them, and then they hold that light for as long as they can. It's like that card's asking you to do the complete opposite to what this is. And this is this card of not having enough, being in lack, feeling like things don't always work out for you. Pointing out the negative on every situation before you ever dare point out a positive. This 8 of Swords, where I said felt like stagnancy. It says healthy choices. Making healthy choices in love and in life. Self-love, self-care, being happier. Yeah, so like I said about being stuck and being stagnant and going backwards. This could be a little mention to somebody about, these healthy choices can be mental and physical, can't they? We can make unhealthy choices mentally that then lead to us feeling quite depressed and a little bit down and not being able to bounce back to things. And this healthy choices is asking you to look at something in your life, Pisces, that might not be so healthy. You might not be, putting out there the best possible chance you can at making something really good. This could be in a relationship, this could be in your job, this could be a relationship with a family member, a child, or just anything really that's prominent in your life, that's important. It feels like it's causing you these problems. Okay, so we've got a couple of cards here now. So the Unicorn, love from your parents. No matter what, your mother or father love you as much as they can. Okay, so some of this can be steeped in our relationship with our parents. For some, this can be an amazingly positive thing, and that you've been handed or dealt an amazing card because you have this amazing parent or parents. For some, these parents will be in spirit and they will be talking directly to you today, just to say that no matter what, we've got your back, we're here. We might not be in the physical, but we are always in that background trying to look after you. And isn't it funny how we've got all these white Pegasus horses? Yeah, this feels like a direct message to you from somebody in spirit. For those of you that do have your parents, maybe it's a little side note to say make the most of them while they are here in this Earth planet, while you have them around, where you can make the most of them. It's Mother's Day this weekend in the UK, which is where I'm filming this from. So maybe it's time to really let that mother know how much you love her. Or maybe this, is your father as well and you haven't seen him in a while, or Maybe there's a call for this love and this care. The next unicorn card we have is listen to your true feelings. Don't let others talk you into doing something that you know is wrong. Now this is directly under this Lovers card, and I said this was about decisions or choices. I feel like there is a big decision coming up, Pisces, in the next couple of weeks. It's asking you to look into your heart space and do what your gut tells you. Sometimes, I mean, Pisces, you have a good gut instinct, I would say, as a sign. But there's just also this equal amount of seeing the best in people, wanting to see the best in people. And sometimes it's all a little bit like you live in your imagination, or you live in a world that's in your head and isn't always massively in the now as much as it could be. And that's not by any means a criticism, because sometimes that's a wonderful place to be and a beautiful place. And sometimes we do have to concentrate on our inner self and create our own understanding of our own world, because, you know, ultimately that's what then plays into our reality. But I don't know, it's talking about not being talked into something. So maybe there's going to become something, maybe something's going to happen for you, Pisces, and you're going to feel like people are sort of putting words in your mouth, or you feel like you've got your back to the wall. I mean, that's not a great place for you to be put in, because sometimes you can then come out fighting in a good way, because you do stand up for yourself. But I don't know, just try and be very balanced. Come from your gut instinct. You know, you're pretty good in that direction, and what you feel is right, you really must go towards. Okay, then over this next row where I pulled this Eight of Swords and the healthy choices, we've got this card of exercise. Run, walk, swim, or otherwise move your body. This will give you more energy and more happiness. For somebody, that's a direct message to do with your health, that you need to start taking more exercise, you need to start drinking more water, taking more care of yourself day to day. For others, this is this mental space. It's saying, do you know what, exercise is a really good way of releasing frustration, anxiety, or any sort of pent-up stress. But it feels like maybe there could be some heavy energies coming up for you that are not to say they're bad, but they just might mean a lot of information, a lot of decision making, and I think it would be very good for you to think about your health. Yeah, exercise. This has been coming out a lot, actually. I had this for, there was another group that had health choices and exercise as well. So it feels like it's a theme. And you know what, we're just going into spring equinox, so we're coming into spring and then summer, and we get outside a lot more, don't we? And we get a lot more exercise. So I think it might just be naturally saying, you know, go outside and be in nature and be more healthy, move your body, and good for you physically and it's good for you mentally. We next have this Ten of Swords. This is more air energy. This is a lot more heavier energy, and I felt this in the build up to what I've been talking about. So this is Aquarius, Gemini and Libra energy, but it's this feeling of somebody, it's like you feel like lots of people are out for you or turning their back on you, or it's like the Ten of Swords for me is always quite dramatic as well. So it's almost like sometimes, you know what, if you do look for the negative in things, you do look for all of those swords, then you know what, you're probably going to find them. You're probably going to come across them. That's what I would say. And I think maybe less interaction with social media. Sometimes it's nice to put your phone down, stop listening to so many opinions. You know, there's so many podcasts now and stuff to listen to, and it's brilliant, and there's so much to be learnt and derived from, you know, all that media, for sure. they're amazing learning tools, but there also comes a point where we need to switch off, and we need to just do us, I guess. Can we clarify this Ten of Swords more specifically with the Island Wellness? Okay, so 2 cards. They're all trying to jump out at me, to be honest, so maybe there's a lot going on for you, Pisces. I've got karmic relationship and the butterfly. So against this Ten of Swords, are you being triggered by somebody, verbally, mentally, physically? Is somebody making you feel resentment? It feels like, ultimately, I spoke about drama, and this karmic lesson is almost saying let go of the drama, let go of the negative. Clear out the filter. Stop letting it clog up with this negative build-up. What it's saying as well is these karmic lessons, the sort of necessary lessons that we are given and put on our path for a reason, and we are asked to learn things about ourselves. And letting go, I believe, actually, news flash here, I think ultimately it's like a collective energy for everybody on this planet. I think it's part of all of our purpose when we come here. I think we sign up to this idea that we will learn to find balance within our ego state, and that will mean that we're going to be able to just release things that don't serve us and be able to discern what's important and what isn't. But these karmic lessons, it's like you've signed up before this lifetime to come and learn specifics, and it feels like there's a lot of drama around some of the specifics, and this can be a partnership, this could be a difficult relationship. Maybe you felt betrayed by somebody or let down by somebody. You know, for some of you, it could be as basic as somebody completely ghosting you, turning their back on you. We have this butterfly card, relationships evolving to the next phase, healing, inner child growth. Yeah, so I feel like Spirit's in your reading again. You had it here earlier with this parent or guidance. But this, you know, this butterfly for me is always a very spiritual symbol. And it's this idea that, you know, we can break free at any moment we choose. We can fly away gracefully if that's what we choose to do. Or we can clip our wings and get completely caught up and not be able to fly. And I don't know, it just feels like within a relationship, if something is evolving, perhaps this idea of distrust and resentment and betrayal, this could be this drama that this is in your head, and this is your own codependency and your own insecurities that you're picking up on this. And actually it's just somebody living that, you know, somebody that you might be dating, or you might have a soft spot for, or you might even be married to, and it feels like they're off doing their own thing, and maybe you're feeling like some of your needs aren't being met, or you're not getting the attention you'd like, and it's saying it's time to heal that inner child. For some of you, this is a codependence issue, and this is this inner child trying to speak to you. What lessons are there karmically that might be in that storyline for you? Go back to thinking about your parents, like we talked about your parents in this other card, and think about your mother and father and who they were in your lives. You know, were they loving? Were they dominant? Were they the disciplinarian? Were they the caring, supportive parent? Were they a parent that didn't listen? Were they a parent that, you know, if you had fears, would hug you and kiss you and tell you, you know, let's face those fears? There's all different types of parenting that we grow up or we're on the end of, and each one of them is then has this child, you know, in the center of it all, that's on the end of the behaviors or the relationships or this push and pull. So this is a call for some of you. Maybe you're going to be triggered in the next few weeks, and this could be to do with a family argument or something you see in your own child that triggers you regarding your childhood and makes you maybe feel a little bit vulnerable. Yeah, and it feels like this really is past life energy. It's like you're going back over another cycle. You're redoing something in order to learn. And that's what I said, this karmic lessons and relationships are about. There's something very strong here about the relationships in your life. And there being some need for you to, before you jump and kick and scream and shout, or even silence, you know, can be as bad as the latter. Think about it, and think about like the position of certain traumas. You know, there are certain things that go on in our lives, aren't there? Like some of us have abandonment issues, and some of us have rejection, and you know, there's some of these shadow sides to our inner child, and you know, we tend to focus on those behaviours that were in some way inadequate when we were, you know, very young and learning all about love and how to love or how to be loved. So there's something in there for you also. And because I've got this 6 of Cups, for me this is the kind of past life or past life relationship. So maybe you're in a past life relationship with somebody, you're having your difficulties. It could well be going to the next level, and it could be evolving, but it doesn't feel like it for you because this position of it being evolved is actually quite uncomfortable at times, and like I say, then causes some sort of turmoil for us. But it's all really good for us in the long run. This is what the energy of the Spirit's telling us, is just keep going with it. You know, this 8 of Pentacles is, she's going to just keep working on it. This is Earth energy, so Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. And the card before 6 of Cups is all about water energy, so this could be people within the Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. This one. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio energy. It feels like somebody has offered somebody their cup of love, and it's not an easy relationship, it's not an easy road, but Spirit is saying keep working on it, keep working on whatever this is, because we do have our peaks and troughs in life. And this girl, she works really hard, and you know, she's mounting up her pentacles because she's concentrating, she's drawing on all of her experience, she's being meticulous about certain details, what she needs to pay attention to, and she's focusing on this area that I spoke about. Let's focus on this area for you, Pisces. Okay, now let's go and have a couple of unicorn cards, and then I'm going to finish on one of my Witchwood Oracle. I do a daily oracle on my Instagram account. Feel free to come and join me on Instagram as well. I post lots of little reels and cards and stuff like that, and a daily oracle. So you might want to check that out. Believe in yourself. See yourself doing well, and you will. If this relationship, or this is just your relationship with yourself, and I say that, I take that back. There's no just about that. That's the most important relationship. So maybe this is asking you to go in and look at all these triggers and this inner child stuff that I spoke about in order to believe in yourself a little bit more. I really do feel like somebody in spirit is around you, Pisces. It feels like a grandparent. I said about parents earlier, but it's come up as parents because this is just this loving card, and this is this idea of this parent and child. And because your inner child stuff is coming up as well, it just feels like you have messages about, and as I say that, the card definitely yes came up. As definitely yes is what I'm talking about. Somebody in spirit is saying to you, yes, I am around you. I'm seeing that, you know, you are struggling in some of these areas. I'm seeing that you're struggling in some of these areas, and I want to help you. And how, do you know what, it's really funny because then this card, I've just pulled this card, finish what you started. This card flying, finding their wings, flying. And I said about whatever this was, you needed to just keep working on it. Take the lessons, keep going, keep working, keep persevering. And, you know, you will be rewarded, you will benefit. You are going to come out of this. It feels like, you know, blue skies. blue skies above. It's the message they wanted me to give you then. Yeah, so this could even be a project. Was this some sort of project you were doing, Pisces? It was getting really difficult and felt like the same things were happening again, the same problems. You were struggling with the same areas. You know, this isn't working, that isn't working. How do I put this right? If it's a project or some sort of event, I don't know, that you're planning. Or you're trying to do something for somebody else. You've been putting a lot of thought into it. You've been working hard to try and get something new off the ground. And it just feels like it's not working. Why is that? Why is it not working? Okay, can we pull an oracle to finish up my Piscean? I'm gonna get two. You're gonna get two. You've got the Scorpion, a card of prejudice, a sting behind the claws. Right, so this Scorpio energy, I spoke about this. I spoke about Scorpion energy earlier. Now you might have your sun, moon and rising in that potentially. Or that it's just, you know, I spoke about some of your dramatic negative traits earlier. And we do all have them, by the way. We do all have those shadow sides of our personalities. They're the side that creates the light almost, because you can't have light without shade. And whatever is coming out in the next couple of weeks for you Pisces, try not to be jaded and prejudiced by stuff that's happened historically. Try not to look back retrospectively. Try and look forward and see what's coming up for you and what could be the potential of the journey rather than every individual step. Try not to sting anyone. Try not to get your swords out. There might be some energy where maybe you feel triggered, like I said, but try to avoid doing that. And, you know, be a bit more patient. Stand back and gain the wisdom. Get your ducks, you know, in a row and take your time to really digest either the problem at hand or the scenario, whatever the decision is. Try and go into your sense of discernment. The next card to here, the last card then, is the House. A card of security. A fine abode, but will it be a home or a penitentiary? Yeah, home. So something's looking like there's going to be some element around your home life. And if for you individually that isn't your specific home, as in bricks and mortar, it's wherever you call home, wherever you lay your hat, as they say. They're asking about security. So for some of you, it might be just to go outside and not be caught up, not feel imprisoned. Lots of people have been working from home and still are, aren't they? Since this whole epidemic stuff, we literally, far more people work from home now than ever before, as we know. And I think for some of them, I mean, I work from home a lot, and sometimes it can feel a bit isolating, it can feel a little bit of a prison. For those of you that might be the case, there's just a message here to say that something is coming up that may change things and may look very different for you. And I'm going to leave you on this note that it might be the case that suddenly your home is going to become a much more important place. It's going to become the place that it was supposed to be, and not the factory. Pisces, have an amazing couple of weeks, and I'm sending you light and love.